Good afternoon. There are two images I want to share with you. The first image is that of a woman and a boy carrying two large suitcases with IKEA Decathlon bag on top, right? Trying to cross Shenton Way Road, and a stranger coming up and saying, "Do you need help?" We managed to get through the road. That was me and my son. The second image is that of a woman walking along the streets of Jurong West trying to find this block in the dark. It was on a Saturday night in 2020, trying to find the address of a customer to deliver glasses to. After walking around for half an hour, couldn't find it, finally found it. These two images stay with that. In October 2019, at 36 years old, I lost my job for the first time in my life. I had been let go from an organization I had given up all my family time for in the last 6 years of working there. I tried applying for many jobs. I was very close to getting a few, but what I kept hearing was I did not have the X years of experience, in this or that, and I could not tick anyone's boxes. What I remember from that period of being unemployed was that I would be out with my family or doing yoga, and I would suddenly break into tears. I didn't even understand why. I was with my family. I was doing something active. I realized after that my identity had been built around entirely being useful to the world beyond my family, having always a problem to solve, and belonging to a large organization. I had only worked for the government and a large company in the entire 13, 14 years before I lost my job. Without the job, I didn't know who I was anymore. I was a mom, I loved being one, but that did not seem to fill the void that work had left. Losing the job did not just take away my livelihood, but also the dignity and self-worth I had. So in January 2020, I got a call from HR of a multinational, right, where I was being interviewed for a job, and they were saying, "Oh, this is the reason why you didn't get it." I remember that day in January distinctly, because after the phone call, I broke down uncontrollably, and there was something in my head that told me I need to do something for myself and not keep being in this unending spiral of rejection, which I didn't know where it would even end. So in March 2020, I started an eye health business, which was called My Eye Matters then, and now it's called iVisor. It was very simple. Bring eye health education, workplace eye disease screenings, and eyewear to the doorstep. So we would do home visits, we would go to workplaces, optometrists would check for eye diseases, fit eyeglasses. It sounds great, right? Except that this was COVID. There were no workplaces to go to. Okay, we did have some home visits, but we couldn't survive just based on that. And if you remember, there were two lockdowns in end 2020 and early 2021. So if we had some workplace screenings, they were actually cancelled. So what did I do? Right, I had plenty of time. I had no business, and I couldn't find any job. So I started another business, cooking healthy meals from families from my own kitchen. From meal prep to cleaning out everything. Didn't have a helper, did everything. Sometimes I had to deliver meals to the families when there were the dispatch didn't show up, right? And it became interesting that there were customers every week because they need food. They couldn't go out. If you remember, they were restricting dining to like 2, so families were stuck at home. Surprisingly, that had more business than my eyewear business and my eye exam business. One weekend, I took on parcel delivery, right? Had to deliver more than 100 deliveries over 3 days. That was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. And then I thought about all the delivery riders who still do this every single day in rain and in shine. I really have a lot more respect for them now. 1 year into the business, my mom asked me, when are you going to stop selling glasses? To her, doing business was seen as a very low thing to do, right? Compared to the high-flying job her daughter had in the government and in the private sector prior. 2 years into the business, I looked at the financials. I was earning way less than my first job. So I decided I'll take a full-time job while keeping a business on the side. My husband asked me, why are you still doing your business if you already have a full-time job? He didn't understand what was driving me. It was not about money. It was not the mission to advance eye health and see a gap and plug it where people do not know they need to take regular eye disease screenings. There is something to be done. There were people who kept me going. The first person is someone who does not even live in Singapore. His name is Tony. I got to know him in my last job in 2018. He's not even from my company. He is just from the industry I was in. It so happened that his company was looking to expand in Asia, and when I was unemployed, he said, Waywen, you can help us with this, right? So I took on a consulting gig while I was doing my business, and that helped me a lot to keep myself going, even though there wasn't much to earn. And every time we met, I would tell him about how my business was doing, met online, and he would say, in May that year, 2020, when I got my first income, I said, you know what, I only earn $162. I can earn more working at McDonald's. And he said, Waywen, you earn $162, amazing. That kept me going, right? It's amazing how someone who does not even live here can give me so much support. Another group was my first group of customers. One of them adopted iVisor for his master's project. Another one person referred me to her colleagues, her church, her association. All of these kept me going in the times that there was no business. The third is actually my son. He's 11 this year. He was the boy in the MRT station with the suitcase. On days he was not in school, he would come with me to do eye screenings and help me carry the equipment, take the MRT home. And if he could show up where they welcome children, he would help me set up, tear down, and tell me all about the things that I missed while serving customers. At 7 years old, he was generating PDF receipts for customers. At 8, he borrowed a book from me called Tiny Business, Big Money. Last year, he would open the door for my local optometrist when I was away. That's George sitting all the way there. He has been here the whole time. In the quiet years, nobody saw. Today, iVisor runs Singapore's first inclusive eye care centre based at Enabling Village near Red Hill. We work with Nomura, Seagate, BMW and Motorola to bring eye health screenings into workplaces. Every eye exam or eyewear that workplaces pay for or individuals pay for helps subsidize an eye exam or eyewear for a person with disability, special need, or someone in financial need. We try to screen for conditions like glaucoma and cataract before it gets worse, before it shows up as blindness. None of that erases the depression, the suitcases, and the meals I cooked in my home kitchen. It's not supposed to be, right? Those built the muscle that lets it stand today. If there's anything I'll offer you from this experience, it's not a lesson about resilience and some grand quality you have or don't. It's smaller than that. Most of what holds a person up during the hardest time is actually something really small. Cook the meal, somebody who encourages you, who buys something from you, pack the suitcase, show up, do it again tomorrow. There are 2 things you can do for what I've shared. Number 1, if you lead a team, you are working for an organization, consider bringing an eye health screening right to your workplace. It doesn't just support the people who are working and who can benefit from early detection of eye diseases. It also funds an eye exam or eyewear for someone in need. If you are here as an individual, come visit us at Enabling Village, and we would be more than happy to serve you. I'm standing here today because enough tomorrows added up. And along the way, people chose to trust me with their eye health when they had other easier options. That trust is the only reason iVisor exists. Thank you.